Hi everyone, welcome to the Wild Wolf Financial Team. This is Jim and I'll be your financial analyst in gold. Firstly, let's look back at what happened last week. Last week was a very interesting one. We had witnessed gold shoot up to $80 in price. So we witnessed a very strong bullish movement. So we could clearly say that this belonged to the buyers. So it was a buyer's week. Now, we did come across a couple of hurdles that did interfere in the pattern. So when we refer to the pattern going upwards, we did come across certain points that did uh, affect the prices. But nonetheless, gold was still in a more of a bullish movement. Now, last week, gold did open positive and did close positive. But moving on to today, which is the first trading day of the week, and it is Monday, the 7th December. Gold did open negative, but did not sustain long enough and decided to continue following its trend. Now, I would like to mention a few points that did affect gold prices. And that was last week with the ADP and the NFP. Now, before I move on, I'd like to discuss more details using my charts. So if I pull up my charts right here, as you can see here, when gold did rise up, so as I mentioned earlier on that this belonged to the buyers. So we did see a double bottom in this area. And we were expecting gold to shoot back up. And as it did, as I mentioned earlier on, we came across a couple of news events, economic data that did affect gold. And as it was following its trend, it was trying to follow a very positive pattern. So as you can see right here, it's going upwards. And this is the area where it was consolidating. So it was pretty skeptical in whether gold will go up or gold will go down. So at this point, it did belong to the intraday traders. And earlier, and just as we move on this section here, now let me start with what happened today. Today did start positive. As you can see in this area, it was negative, but it did not sustain. Gold decided to continue going upwards, which is a very positive movement. Now, the range had been broken. So when we refer to the range, I'm referring in this area here. Now, the range had been broken and the support level was broken on 1830. Now, this negative impact here, it had a very strong drop. So it did have a very strong negative impact. Now, this is due to the breaking news by Boris Johnson. And basically, he announced that he was ready to pull out of talks within hours over EU demands. Now, this had a very strong impact on the pound dollar as it crashed more than 1.5% only due to the Brexit announcement. So now we can see that other factors are involving in having an impact on this precious metal. Moving on, previously, as I mentioned about the NFP, now this was bad for the currency as it was lower than forecasted. So this did give a negative impact on the dollar. That's why gold in turn had a more positive response. Another factor that did affect gold was the fact that the ADP non-farm employment. Now, at this time, it was bad for the USD. So it was lower. It was lower than forecasted. So this will have an impact. I wouldn't say a short term, but we're talking about the end of the year. So it will continue having its shocks along the way until the US is stabilizing its economy. And due to the pandemic with the COVID-19 vaccine announced, all these are playing a major factor in price fluctuations. Now, Friday's US employment, Now, this seemed to confirm as the worst for the U.S. So now we can understand of the impact it had. And at this point, I would say I would recommend avoid from buying. So moving on now, we are expecting the gold at the moment with the weights looking. It did have a rebound in this section, and it is continuing to go on an upward trend, but nothing can be sure at the moment. We're not sure whether it will go back up or whether it'll go back down. But the only thing we can do is just hope that it is going to be breaking this level here, because gold currently, the resistance level is sitting on 1848 per ounce, and the support is sitting on 1828. So this all depends which way gold will be heading. Before placing any orders, I would always recommend our clients and investors to wait for a signal, as in order to make profits and to be less risky. Now, since gold is in this area at the moment, it has to sustain in this area in order to break through. So this is something that we are waiting for. Now, let me go back. What's happening at the moment is that we are still looking in what's happening, as nothing is too sure as yet. It is the first trading day of the week. So we are still waiting in what's going to be happening in the market. But I'd like to give another few points now. Just before placing an order, please do log into our website. I would also recommend that we are having a client referral program, so this will benefit you. And please do log into our website, and you'll become a member there. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Now, we do have certain promotions going on. This will be updated really soon, so make sure you do log into our website, and you'll have further details to understand better in what's going to be announced on the activity page. Lastly, before I conclude my my session, I'd like to say thank you all very much for watching my show. Please do not forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe down low, and we'll be updating you as soon as possible. Have a great day ahead.